Have you touched the reincarnation of the perfect 8-star Docian? Two palm prints were burned onto the delicate face of the elven woman, and just as Xiao Yan appeared, a fierce surge of silver lightning surrounded his body, with terrifying bolts of lightning flashing across his skin. You! How dare you hit me? I will kill you! The elven woman was enraged, and suddenly, deep brown fiery feathers appeared in her hand, swiftly forming a wave of searing flames that shot toward Xiao Yan. The crimson marks on her face were startling. Had Xiao Yan not held back just now, this delicate elven woman might have been instantly obliterated. At this moment, extreme fury burned in the elven woman's eyes, and a cold killing intent spread. Elven women had an extreme obsession with cleanliness and elegance. They were always mindful of their noble and graceful demeanor, which distinguished them from lowly magical beasts. To them, they absorbed the energy of the heavens and earth and the essence of the sun and moon, making them the most mysterious creatures in the world, in perfect harmony with nature, unlike the lower-tier magical beasts. Crack! What seemed like a terrifying attack abruptly stopped when it came close to Xiao Yan. Not a single trace of the fiery brown flames harmed him. Instead, they vanished as gently as a breeze brushing against his face. Miss Aisha, let me handle this. This man is nothing but a fool unaware of his own death. Dealing with him would tarnish your noble identity. The elven woman was momentarily stunned. Behind her, an elven man with a cold snort stepped forward like a butler. With a twisted expression, his eyes widened, and a terrifying energy caused the surrounding space to tremble. His power was no ordinary strength. Since you insist, then you shall perish here. Xiao Yan stood in the void, his gentle laughter spreading as terrifying thunderous breath unfurled. The two exchanged a look, both filled with intense battle intent. Elven Guard, Frost Seer, Boundless Fire Domain, Xiao Yan. As soon as the words left their mouths, the two stepped forward, and overwhelming energy erupted. Boom! Behind the elven man, a rush of icy energy surged forth, instantly freezing the entire spatial passage. The chilling power within it was so intense it caused dizziness. A moment of distraction, and one could easily be struck. Aisha tribute? Xiao Yan's lightning flared as he looked at the elven man in surprise. The elven man in front of him still had the same appearance as the elven woman. Yellow hair, pale skin, and dark shades in his eyes. But a question arose. Shouldn't the fire elves all practice fire attributes? Master Xiao Yan, be careful. This guy is Miss Aisha's personal bodyguard, and his strength has reached the true reincarnation stage. The fire elves are a massive force in the heavenly sea, so those of high rank in every branch tribe hire elven experts as bodyguards. Zhou Xian hurriedly warned Xiao Yan. To defy Miss Aisha's orders is a crime deserving of death. I will use the extreme cold ice power to turn you into an ice sculpture and seal you here forever. The elven man had an extremely proud look on his face. No sooner had his words fallen than the cold flow behind him transformed into countless snow-white ice pillars, which exploded with powerful shock waves. The already desolate and cold space seemed even colder, with waves of white mist and cold currents pouring toward Xiao Yan to suppress him. The terrifying force made the entire void hum, and strands of icy energy appeared, causing the hairs on everyone's skin to stand on end. Ice power. Extremely cold. Humph. Xiao Yan snorted coldly and suddenly had a thought. He gathered his lightning, and the flame mantra inside him began to circulate. At the same time, amber light erupted from his body, his foundation surging. His once bronze skin was now enhanced to the toughness of stone and iron. The amber fire cauldron reappeared on his chest, and a mighty force spread throughout his body. With this enhancement, Xiao Yan felt an indescribable sense of comfort, and even his fists and skin showed faint amber patterns. These patterns were irregular, but Xiao Yan could clearly feel that they were a result of the first stage of the flame mantra burning through his foundation. Roar! Facing the elven man's fierce ice power, Xiao Yan stood firm in the void, amber patterns surging on his fists as he punched toward the empty space in front of him. Whoosh! With a punch, the surrounding space hummed, and the terrifying power shattered the cold undercurrent, breaking it apart in front of everyone's eyes. The elven woman Aisha quietly stood to the side. Judging by the attack Xiao Yan had just unleashed, it seemed that this guy's strength was not as simple as it appeared on the surface. Moreover, with his unique insight into flames, Xiao Yan's fleeting amber-colored flames had been seen through immediately. Overestimating yourself. The elven man looked at Xiao Yan, who was arrogantly attempting to resist his cold powers with a single punch. The sarcasm at the corner of his mouth grew even brighter. As a powerful reincarnation stage warrior, his strength far surpassed that of an 8-star Docian, and Xiao Yan's actions were no different from seeking death. Crack! Before the elven man's thoughts could fully form, the next moment, his sarcasm and arrogance were shattered. Above the icy tide, countless shockwave blades of ice collapsed, and visible cracks spread across the entire cold current. Crack! How is this possible? Feeling the sharp aura contained in Xiao Yan's punch, the man's eyelids uncontrollably twitched, and the cold currents behind him instantly vanished. Like a fragile porcelain vase, countless cracks appeared before it exploded with a resounding crash. Watching such a simple exchange, which ended with Xiao Yan taking the upper hand, Zhou Xian's expression turned remarkable. It seemed that this person, Xiao Yan, was just as terrifying as Lord Little E. Amid 8-star Docian fighting a reincarnation stage warrior, even with his own experience, such a sight was unheard of. Such strange power. Although the elven man was also from the elven race, he was not a fire elf. With Xiao Yan consciously suppressing his sacred flames, he couldn't perceive it as keenly as Aisha, who was a fire elf. Ice phoenix of the frozen wastes. Rend him apart. The dark current shattered, and immediately, Xun'er's body flickered once more. The howling cold energy above his head erupted, faintly transforming into an ice phoenix, over 1,000 feet tall. Its momentum was fierce and awe-inspiring, striking fear into anyone who saw it. Upon seeing this, Xiao Yan's lips curled into a rare smile. He activated his flame mantra, burning with an endless foundation, and pure power flowed out. Together with the amber flames and sacred flames of the sacred armor, his body was set alight. The ice phoenix rampaged like a vicious beast, aiming its deadly attacks at Xiao Yan's vital spots. However, no matter how terrifying the onslaught was, it failed to leave any mark on Xiao Yan's body. Now, Xiao Yan was like a true fortress, with an astounding defensive power. It seems I've still underestimated the enhancement from the flame mantra and sacred flames. Sensing the ferocious defensive power, Xiao Yan couldn't help but feel a surge of joy. Now that the first layer of the flame mantra was only successfully cultivated, it had such terrifying power. What about the second, third, or even higher layers? The first layer of the flame mantra burned the foundation, giving Xiao Yan the most powerful control over his chaotic internal power. The changes to his body were just an added benefit. Even so, this terrifying enhancement was second only to Dragon God transformation. Gulp. Xun'er, the elven man, wore a highly solemn expression. Looking at how his formidable attack failed to break Xiao Yan's defense, his eyes grew even colder. Ice spirit, spiritual energy, anger, and killing intent surged together. Cold, sharp mist emerged from Xun'er's hands, forming a chilling handprint that gradually stirred the air, creating gusts of cold wind and slowly taking shape. What power is this? This is different from the power of an ordinary 8-star Docian, and not quite the reincarnation power of a reincarnation warrior? Xiao Yan's gaze narrowed as he watched the cold seal on Xun'er's palm. That feeling was highly unusual. The cold seal fully took shape, and then Xun'er suddenly pushed it toward Xiao Yan. The massive ice handprint, 100 feet in size, rose into the air, accompanied by a roaring cold mist. Boom! The cold handprint surged toward Xiao Yan, and the surrounding void became eerily silent. Countless icy threads bizarrely appeared from the void, as if the entire space had been frozen. Die! Xun'er and Aisha stood quietly in the distance, watching the space fill with cold energy. The former couldn't help but sneer. Lord Xiao Yan. Seeing this, Xiao Yan urgently shouted, his body surrounded by brown flames, trying to rush toward Xiao Yan to help. Unfortunately, his strength was far weaker than Xun'er's, and it was impossible for him to assist. It seems the elven race truly has some hidden strength. Xiao Yan's expression turned indifferent as he felt the chilling aura before him. He sneered coldly. The battle core containing fire attributes surged out, unleashing terrifying flames that erupted from Xiao Yan's body, spreading across the void. These flames subtly confronted the icy power that was beginning to emerge. The immense forces of both ice and flame immediately collided, shaking the entire void as if it were on the verge of collapsing. Whoosh whoosh. Although the ice seal was only 100 feet in size, it was infused with the mysterious power of the ice elf, Xun'er. The intricate light patterns on it absorbed all the energy in the void, becoming unfathomably complex. As for Xiao Yan, his fist was empowered by the amber-colored holy flame, making it appear exceptionally rough and fierce. He suddenly flipped his fist upwards, forcefully pressing it against the ice seal. With a momentum so overwhelming it felt like a meteor, sending a chill down one's spine. Crack! A series of terrifying cracking sounds spread out, and on the ice seal, countless cold patterns began to form faint cracks. A crisp sound rang out, while Xiao Yan's holy flame-infused fist only grew fiercer and more intense. This kid. Noticing this, Xun'er couldn't help but feel nervous. Several attacks had already been blocked by Xiao Yan, and she could sense that Xiao Yan wasn't even using his full strength. It's over. Before Aisha and Xun'er could act, the core inscriptions within Xiao Yan's body began to churn, releasing a surge of vibrant green energy. This formed 80,000 core formation patterns, which bound their bodies within the void, trapping them. The green inscriptions flickered, resembling massive stone pillars, with vines and other elements wrapping around them. Additionally, there was the suppression of the amber flames, and under these conditions, the two elves were completely restrained, unable to stir up any disturbances. Gulp. Lord Xiao Yan. Seeing this unfold, Xiao Yan's eyelids twitched violently, and his face became increasingly strange. Not bad with your little scheme. After completing all of this, Xiao Yan withdrew his power and slowly approached them. Kid, what do you want? Despite being bound by Xiao Yan's array power, Xun'er still took a step forward, arduously positioning herself beside Aisha. Her gaze was serious as she stared at Xiao Yan. Her earlier attack had indeed been underestimating him, but Xun'er also knew that Xiao Yan's strange flames and incredibly strong physique were enough to close the power gap between them. Losing to him wasn't a shame. Get out of the way. Xiao Yan had no time to waste on this fool. With a casual wave of his hand, the array's light pillar slammed Xun'er back several dozen meters. You're Aisha, right? From the western tribe of the Fire Elf clan? Xiao Yan walked toward Aisha, a proud and unruly smile on his face. So what if I am? If you dare touch me, not only will my sister ensure you have no place to be buried, but your friend will also suffer because of you. Our Fire Elf clan is not a race that outsiders like you can fight for inheritance. The elven woman Aisha was enveloped by numerous energy vines, making her look enchanting, but the blush on her face had not faded. She snarled at Xiao Yan, her words brimming with obvious pride. Xiao Yan took slow, deliberate steps toward the elven woman, but the cold killing intent around him felt as tangible as energy itself, making Aisha's breathing grow heavier. Whoosh whoosh. I've always hated people like you, with your lofty attitude, even if you're from the Fire Elf clan. So what? If anything happens to my brother Little E within your Fire Elf clan, I'll annihilate your entire race. Xiao Yan stretched out his hand and directly grabbed Aisha's chin, lifting it up. Her delicate face was exposed without any concealment. Her perfect beauty, unlike that of humans, blended human vitality with the noble elegance of the elven race. You! Aisha was startled by Xiao Yan's actions and was stunned for a long time without responding. It was clear that Xiao Yan's terrifying killing intent had dampened her usual pride, and her body even trembled slightly. From childhood, no one had ever dared to do such a thing to her. Aisha of the Western tribe of the Fire Elf clan has a noble background. Though her strength only touches the 8-star Do Xian, she is far from her sister, who is the strongest in the Western tribe. Alice, first-tier reincarnation stage. However, as for other information, my subordinates couldn't find anything. The defenses within the Western tribe are extremely strict. Xian approached and shared what little he knew with Xiao Yan. So, Aisha, tell me everything you know about the Western tribe, or else? Xiao Yan finished speaking and turned his gaze toward Aisha, scanning her from head to toe. But soon, his usually calm expression showed a clear change in emotion, as if he was drawn to something. There was a hint of something deeper in his eyes. You. I am the pride of the West tribe. If you dare to do anything untoward to me, my sister will never let you off. Aisha's face immediately showed obvious panic from Xiao Yan's words, and the elven aura around her body retracted in an instant. TSK. Such a graceful figure. Truly a work of art, a gift from nature itself. Seeing that Aisha hadn't yet realized the seriousness of the situation, Xiao Yan raised his hand and slowly slid it down the side of her jaw. SSS. Even though her clothes provided a barrier, Aisha's delicate body trembled under Xiao Yan's touch, and her hairs stood on end. Fear surged in her heart. The Elven race, mostly consisting of female elves, are known for their stunning beauty. This caused them to be extremely protective of their bodies, even developing an almost twisted sense of cleanliness. Among the royal bloodline of the elves, this trait is even more pronounced. Thus, their delicate bodies had long become an unapproachable taboo, like their Achilles' heel. Ugh. In the distance, Seer's eyes turned red, and he looked like a beast ready to pounce on Xiao Yan. Unfortunately, he couldn't move an inch due to the restraints from the array and sacred flame power. Tisk. Xiao Yan continued his descent, admiring the small waist that could be held in a single hand, the long, slender legs, and the perfect feet that were revealed. However, his eyes were unfocused, as if his soul had been captivated by the girl in front of him. A moment later, Aisha suddenly lost control and screamed. Her long, beautiful hair stood on end, looking terrifyingly wild as if it were about to explode. Enough! What do you want to know? Aisha was furious but helpless against Xiao Yan. She yelled, her beautiful eyes glaring fiercely at Xiao Yan, wishing she could devour him whole. Now that's more like it. I don't need much. I just want to know the general strength of the West tribe and Alice's true abilities. Xiao Yan withdrew his hand, but could vaguely sense that his earlier actions might have been a bit too impulsive. Unfortunately, Xiao Yan didn't know that among the royal bloodline of the Elven race, especially the female elves, there was an inherent allure that could be quite captivating. With his anxious thoughts about little E, he was drawn in by this mysterious force from Aisha. That's why he lost focus and acted impulsively. However, Xiao Yan was even more unaware that doing such a thing to an elf was comparable to intimate relations between men and women in the human world, a grave matter. In the West tribe of the Fire Elves, Alice has already reached the first-tier reincarnation stage. She is one of the 3 main competitors to inherit the throne of the Fire Elves. Her attack and defense are both on par with the peak of the first tier. As for the others, there are 2 more at the first-tier reincarnation stage, and several at the level of perfect 8-star Do Xian. Aisha gritted her teeth, still struggling violently despite being restrained by the energy vines, like a wild little cat, full of unyielding spirit. Is that all? Xiao Yan was stunned, as this wasn't what he had expected. Lord Xiao Yan may not know, but in the 3 major tribes, each has its own chieftains and elders. However, for the heir election, all the reincarnation stage powerhouses have been summoned to the Fire Elves' northern headquarters. The remaining tribes have formed their own factions based on the 3 competitors, as per the rules established during the Fire Elves election period. This is a tradition that has been followed for generations. Xian quickly explained to Xiao Yan. I see now. Let's go. We'll find Little E first. Xiao Yan nodded, and it seemed that the next part of their journey would be quite interesting. What about these 2? Xian asked, since Aisha held a high position, And what Xiao Yan had just done might cause a war between the two tribes if it spread to the West tribe. Just kill them. Save us the trouble, Xiao Yan said nonchalantly. Hey. Upon hearing Xiao Yan's decisive words, Aisha's face showed a look of astonishment. How could she, the young lady of the West tribe with royal blood of the fire elves, who could command storms in her own tribe, be treated like this by an insignificant person? To say kill so easily, just like that? What's wrong? Do you have a problem? Xiao Yan's aura turned sharp as he began to gather power in his hand. Amber flames roared to life, and he smiled, his expression innocent, as if he was harmless. I am. No. I'm Alice's sister. If you take me, my sister will surely go easy on you. At this moment, it seemed that Aisha's little mind had become a bit clever, as she actually teamed up with Xiao Yan to discuss something. So, Xiao Yan spoke up, pretending to think deeply. You can't kill us. You have to take us with you and protect our safety. Of course, you can use this to threaten Princess Alice. She and I have a very good relationship, so she definitely won't just ignore me. Aisha pouted, saying this, though she felt both hatred and anger over the situation. Fine, then just knock us out and take us away. As for this guy, he's a troublemaker. Just knock him out and send him back to your Western clan. After speaking, Xiao Yan swiftly acted, knocking the two unconscious with skillful precision. He then asked Xiao to set the route through the void and sent Seer back. After all, Xiao Yan was playing the long game, fishing for big catches. As for Aisha, she was kept with him, just in case. With that, the two of them increased their speed and headed straight for the Fire Spirit Tribe's heavenly sea space. Whoosh whoosh. In the silent expanse of space, with no other distractions, Xiao Yan and his companion moved incredibly fast. But even so, it still took some time. At that moment, a piece of firestone on Xian's body suddenly emitted a sharp buzzing sound, as though something had stirred. What is this? Xiao Yan sensed a trace of ancient fluctuations coming from the firestone. This is a sensing stone from our tribe. It seems someone is in the void beneath us. My lord, should we break the void and leave here? Aisha and the others are likely eager to make a contribution. I fear my whereabouts may be leaked, and the people from the Western clan might catch us at the exit of the passage. Xian trembled as he looked at the surrounding void and spoke hesitantly. All right. Xiao Yan raised his gaze and looked at the distant opening of the spatial passage. For some reason, there was a strange fluctuation emanating from there. Glancing at Xian's expression, he immediately nodded. Let's go. Let me have a proper meeting with the so-called Fire Spirit Clan. Xiao Yan's hands were surrounded by dazzling amber-colored flames. He suddenly struck the void passage with great force. The void shattered, and before the time turbulence could manifest, the two bodies directly entered. However, in order to avoid attracting attention, they made sure to restore the void to its original state to cover their tracks. Thus, Xiao Yan and the others didn't reach the spatial passage exit of the Little E tribe. Instead, they broke the void halfway and entered the Fire Spirit Clan's Heavenly Sea space. Heavenly Sea, Elven Holy Land. This was a vast and sacred land where numerous elven creatures gathered. It stretched for thousands of miles, with stable space and abundant energy. It far surpassed OD continent, and the Elven clan was one of the most powerful forces in the Great Thousand Worlds. Therefore, there were few natural enemies, and they lived peacefully here. Elves were synonymous with beauty, known for their skills in artistry and reproduction, their noble adornments, graceful demeanor, intelligence, and beauty. They were almost one with nature, primarily residing in forests, forming vast biological communities. They were deeply devoted to witchcraft studies. The Elven clan loved peace, and apart from the royal family, most common elves lived in harmony and equality. They were beautiful and kind-hearted, yet held a deep hatred for evil forces. With the majority of the Elven clan being female, the matriarchal system had reached its peak. This was one of the reasons why Little E was opposed by the other two candidates. 3 candidates, 2 women and 1 man. In the vast space of Heavenly Sea, there was a tranquil bamboo forest, with a creek flowing gently beside it, creating a beautiful scene. However, beside the creek, there was a strange, spatial light gate, containing immense spatial energy. It seemed someone was passing through the void passage to this place. At this moment, 3 figures sat leisurely, seemingly waiting for something. Among the 3, all possessed considerable strength, with the leader being especially powerful, reaching a terrifying level. "Aisha really is worrisome," the woman at the front said. Her voice was melodious, bringing a sense of tranquility and serenity to the entire bamboo forest. Looking up, the source of the voice turned out to be a beautiful and noble woman. She had ears slightly longer than a human's, golden hair, and sapphire eyes. Her whole body seemed to shine with a crystal-like brilliance. What was even more surprising was that she had a pair of butterfly wings on her back, as beautiful as a spirit butterfly. These wings were engraved with mysterious patterns, adding an air of mystery to her presence. "Your Highness, although Miss Aisha can be playful, she has often been guided by you. So in this special time, she may have been eager to make a contribution. However, in my view, while Miss Aisha's actions may seem inappropriate, both publicly and privately, everything she has done is for your Highness." The 2 women beside the stunning elven woman quickly spoke up. Apart from the leading woman, who had an ethereal, celestial appearance, the other 2 women also appeared to be elven. But compared to the leader, they were far weaker both in terms of strength and temperament. The leader, Princess Aisha of the Fire Elf West tribe, spoke calmly. "I hope so. However, this girl, she's really something. She was so proactive during this battle. I haven't seen her act like this before. Forget it. Let's stay here and guard. Once Xiao Yan from the Boundless Fire Domain arrives, we'll kill him on the spot. I need the holy flame from him to unlock something in our tribe. As for the things on Little E, they won't escape my grasp either." Aisha, the butterfly-winged elf, spoke coldly, her eyes fixed on the shimmering light gate in front of her. Her voice was calm, as if she had everything already under control. "Yes. But, Your Highness, this person is rumored to only be at the mid-8-star Docian stage. Do we really need all 3 of us from the reincarnation stage to handle him? Isn't this a bit of an overreaction?" 2 of the guards beside her spoke quietly, puzzled. "It's rumored that the Boundless Fire Domain has connections with many forces from the Monster Realm and Ghost Realm. I'm worried that he might be the greatest threat. So, I'd rather be cautious and believe the rumors than ignore them. Let's wait. As for Little E, I've already sent the chieftain and 2 elders from our tribe, along with elite warriors, to head over. We'll take everything today." With that, the surroundings fell silent again. Whoosh! The void shattered, and Xiao Yan and his companions arrived in the heavenly sea. However, they didn't manage to cross the spatial passage to the south tribe where Little E was stationed. Instead, they ended up on the edge of the heavenly sea space, narrowly avoiding a fierce battle. After all, Aisha, as a candidate, was at the first reincarnation stage, a level far beyond the average human first tier. This was a sea of flowers, with abundant energy overflowing. The air was filled with the fragrance of birds and flowers, creating a truly ethereal feeling of paradise. Where is the source of the aura? Xiao Yan looked around but didn't sense any power. He furrowed his brows and asked, "Lord, it's over here." Xiao responded, immediately running toward a small hill in the middle of the flower field, heading down a nearby path with urgency. "Troublesome, but I must admit, the elf women are incredibly beautiful." Xiao Yan sighed, carrying Aisha across his waist and accelerating as he followed. In the distance across the flower field. "Damn it! You guys from the West Tribe are so despicable." 3 elven men stood there, surrounding the center where another elven man was. They had the upper hand, their energy fluctuating violently, causing the atmosphere to become thick with a bloody smell. "Enough of these useless words. Save them for when we meet Princess Aisha." The leader took a step forward, and immense power, like the tilt of a galaxy, descended upon the fallen elven man, attempting to bind him. Each of the 3 elites was powerful, all having reached the peak of 8-star Docian, and the leader's strength had even reached the rare reincarnation stage. This formidable lineup was something only a superpower like the Fire Elf West tribe could produce. The trapped elven man, pale with blood constantly spilling from the corners of his mouth, looked at the three with burning anger. You pests from the West tribe. You don't understand. Lord Little E isn't just gifted. He also carries the Holy Flame reincarnation mark. He's the true heir. Though the other two princesses have royal blood, they can't even compare to Lord Little E. The wounded elven man's face twisted as he roared, energy swirling around him, as though he was about to unleash some powerful technique. Heh. Your strength may be at the reincarnation stage, but the combined power of the three of us is enough to handle a real first reincarnation stage. So, surrender. A dazzling silver light suddenly burst from their bodies, completely suppressing the wounded elven man's movements. Thud. The elven man was pinned down by the three, his energy faltering, his eyes clouded with a mixture of bitterness and reluctance. Lord Xiao Yan, this person is a trusted guard of Lord Little E, named Xiamo. His reincarnation stage strength is highly trusted by Lord Little E. If even he's captured, the West tribe may have launched a full-scale assault. Lord Little E is in imminent danger. Instantly, Jiao Xian's expression became vigilant. Keep moving.